Does your partner constantly say that you don't love them? Do they make you feel like they're the ones doing all the work in the relationship and you're not putting enough effort? Do they make you feel like you're the worst person and every time you interact with them, you always feel guilty and bad? Let's talk today about guilt tripping and how it is a sign of manipulation. Let's talk about 5 ways that you can tell that your partner is just guilt tripping you so that you don't fall for their manipulative tactics. Let me start by saying that guilt tripping is anything that your partner does to make you feel guilty. And the reason they're trying to make you feel guilty is so that you can do exactly what they want. It's a tactic that they're using to control you, a tactic that they're using to make sure that you do what they want. It's a very, very manipulative tactic. So let's talk about some ways. I'm going to be sharing 5 ways that your partner is actually guilt tripping you so that you can do what they want. The first way that your partner is guilt tripping you is that they're always bringing up your mistakes from the past. Even though you have apologized to them over and over about this mistake, and you have started and you have made steps to ensure that you will not repeat the mistake. And the mistake could be anything. It could be anything at all that you have done in the past. Yet your partner constantly brings it up. And because they know that you still feel guilt, you still feel shame because of whatever it is that you did, every time they bring it up, it's a way that they silence you. So if they had asked you to do something and then you said, oh, I'm sorry, I won't be able to do it, then they quickly bring up that mistake and begin to hold it over your head so that you are not able to refuse them. And so they brought you into a state where you now feel guilty. And because of your guilt, you just succumb to whatever they say. Let's look at another way that your partner is guilt tripping you. And that is that they're always holding the favors they do for you over your head. Yes, I had to put my hand that way. They're constantly holding whatever favors they have done for you over your head. So maybe they asked you to get the groceries or they asked you to give them money for something and then you don't. Then they remind you about how this time when you were broke, they gave you money. How this time when you were sick, they came to visit you. How this time, that time when you needed their help, they helped you. And they are saying it from a place that suggests that you owe them. That because they have done you that favor, now you owe them. And so because of that, you have to do everything that they want. Even when you have explained to them that it's not convenient for you to help them at that time. Or that it's not convenient for you to do what they want at that time. But they just pull out that card of a favor that they have done for you in the past. And they do all of this just to guilt trip you. And because you feel like you owe them something because of the favors they have done for you in the past, you succumb. You do exactly what they want you to do, even when you don't want to, even when it is you completely going out of your way. The third way is that your partner is constantly playing the victim. And there are many ways that they could do this. So they'll constantly say things like, oh, you don't love them. If you love them, you will do exactly what they want you to do. Or they will act as if they are so helpless and that if you do not do what they want, then the sky is going to fall. They are constantly doing things that make it seem as if they are the victims or that you are a mean person because you're not doing exactly what they want. Sometimes they'll go as far as even crying, shedding what I would call fake tears. Now, please note, I'm not saying that everybody that cries, when they are talking to you about something, is trying to manipulate you or is guilt tripping you. But someone who is repeatedly, trying to guilt trip you will usually use things like crying. They will begin to cry or they'll threaten to harm themselves or they'll just do something that will make you feel as if you don't do what they want, everything is going to come to an end. And because you don't want to see your partner's tears, because you don't want to see them in pain, because you really do care about them, you fall for their tactic, for their trick, and then you do exactly what they want. Another way that your partner is guilt tripping you is that they are constantly comparing you to others. They point at another person's marriage, point at another person's relationship. They tell you about how their own marriage is perfect, how this person's partner is treating them like this, how this person's wife bought him this, how that person's husband did this for her, etc. And you are not doing any of that. And the reason they are doing that is so that you begin to feel inadequate, so that you begin to try your hardest to please them and you begin to go above and beyond, even if it is literally breaking your back, even if it's literally killing you to do what they want. Because you feel that guilt from that comparison, you begin to try your hardest. You see, the problem with these people, unfortunately, is that they never get satisfied. So no matter what you do, they're still going to guilt trip you. No matter what you do, they're still going to compare you with somebody else. It's going to be like, running around the hamster's wheel. They're constantly going to do it. They're never going to stop. If you give in to them all the time, they're going to continuously do it. They're not going to stop. Before I go to the next point, let me ask that you leave me a comment. In which of these ways have you experienced guilt tripping from your partner? Or are there other ways that you've been guilt tripped by your partner? I'd love to read that in the comment section. Another way that your partner is guilt tripping you is that they constantly magnify their efforts and minimize yours. They talk about, all the effort they put into the relationship, how they are basically carrying the relationship on their head, how the only reason the relationship is still working is because they are doing all the work and you are doing nothing. They make it seem like everything you do counts for nothing. And because they are constantly putting you in that position, you continue to strive. You want to be better. You want to do more. But as said earlier, these people will never be satisfied. There are still many other signs of manipulation. One of them is going to be shown in the next video, and that is that your partner constantly blames you. Whenever you want to have a conversation with them, they flip things over and make everything your fault. You're going to see that in the video that is coming up on the left-hand side of your screen. And I also did a series on signs of emotional abuse. That's going to be coming up on the right-hand side of your screen. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not hit that subscribe button, definitely want to hit it because you want to know all the signs that your partner is manipulating you so that you can set yourself free. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.